What is up, you guys? It's me, Derek Kid here. We're back again with another video for today, and we've hit it. The end of the year is here once again, and I gotta say we've had a year full of good movies and some bad movies. But here we're gonna start out with the good list, the top 10 best films of 2023. These are, in my opinion, all these films are subjective. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but this is my list, so let's get this started. Number 10 on my list is actually surprisingly the 10th film of this franchise, Saw X. I was a bit curious going into this one, knowing we've had two previous entries that failed at a way to reintroduce the Saw franchise, but not with this one. We have had a whole new cast of origin stories with John Kramer, but with this one, I gotta say it's a definitive John Kramer movie. If you want to see a good Saw movie, check out this one because besides 2 and 6, this has been a good way to relaunch the franchise, and we're getting a new Saw film next year. So I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes and what is all this leading to, because what's the story now that we're going into the past? Number 9 on my list is the newest Hunger Games movie, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it's going to be taking a while for me to get that title over with, but let's get going. With the books, I gotta say, I read the trilogy, I saw the movies. They were a good, faithful adaptation of the books. But with this, I was going into this with new eyes. I'm like, okay, I've barely seen any marketing with this movie. I haven't read the book, but let me see where this is going to go in. Oh my god, surprisingly, we ended up with a good ass movie, and I can't wait to see what else are they going to do with this, because I don't know if they're done here. It might seem that way, but it made some money. Hopefully Lionsgate can relaunch this franchise at some point and doesn't ruin the legacy of the original films. Number 8 on my list is a new addition, which I gotta say was a good time this holiday season, and actually a good throwback, Thanksgiving. Everybody knows the Grindhouse movies. I miss the Grindhouse movies and their style. Thanksgiving was originally a fake trailer, which turned into an actual movie, which actually used scenes from Grindhouse in a way that actually explicit horror fans can enjoy. And I gotta say, I want to see another Grindhouse movie. I don't even know if we're going to get back to that style again. I want to see this film again, but if they have a version of the grainy Grindhouse feel of it, I got to see it, because there are moments in this movie where it needed it, and I want to see what it would look like in that style, to be honest. Number 7 is a Netflix movie, which I got to say, another representation of the Grindhouse genre. They Clone Tyrone. This was a black exploitation film that actually had mystery, science fiction, actual stereotypes that played along with the concept and didn't make it out to offend anybody, but actually explore this new world some people might not know about. It's a throwback to the actual Grindhouse days. I don't even know how many times I'm going to say Grindhouse this video, but I got to say, a good addition to this style of film, and hopefully we get some more films like it. Next up on my list is Sisu, and I don't think you guys have heard of this movie, but I got to say, I saw John Wick 4, and this trailer came up, and oh my god, literal Nazis being killed in a movie. I'm in for it, with action, over the top nonsense, good kills. I gotta say, if you guys haven't seen this movie yet, go check it out, because it's a funny, not just funny, but a funny, bloody time. Next off is a new addition to my list, which we've had a couple sleeper hits this year. This one, I gotta say, was really amazing, and I'm surprised it actually turned out the way it did. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before in my life, but I do know the concept and the characters and the way the game goes. But I gotta say, this movie was a really good translation of the actual game. Not only that, but actually the way it was made. Some of the character traits were actually inspired by real Dungeons and Dragons moves, playing dice and stuff like that. But I gotta say, if we're gonna get a sequel to this, I hope we do. I know we're not gonna get another mulligan for this again, but if this is the way we're gonna go out, I'm glad we came out with a good D&D movie. Number 4 is coincidentally John Wick Chapter 4. I gotta say, Keanu, he's been doing well with these John Wick movies, and if this is really the supposed end to the franchise, I gotta say, you kind of did go out with a bang and at least throw everything out on this one, because the first hour of this movie is a little bit dialogue heavy. You're gonna get a bit of, okay, intrigue. Oh, this is what's going on with the world. But the last hour and 40 of this movie, straight up action, nonstop, where you're just in a really roller coaster ride. I gotta say, I finished popcorn at the movies a lot, and I didn't even want to finish my popcorn for this, and I wanted to savor the action that was going on for the last hour. I hope this isn't the end, we've had a couple spin-offs with John Wick lately, and I hope we can actually get another entry, not just for this, but hopefully the resolution of the character and the franchise. Top three on my list. These were the ones I gotta say. It was hard to pick and choose which one. I gotta pick one animated film because I know I did like a couple animations this year, and I'm surprised that the one I ended up loving is the one I thought less about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Yes, it's inspired by Spider-Verse and its elements, but not this time. We've had actual Ninja Turtle interpretations in the past. The Michael Bay movies, the animated series, the cartoon series on Nick. I gotta say, with this version, I gotta see what you guys are doing because we've had Seth Rogen at the helm who did The Boys and Invincible, and I gotta say, whatever he's doing, I want because there's no way this should have been a success, but it really was because with a new art style, new direction with the characters, something we haven't seen in the past before introducing these turtles. I gotta say, I'm excited for the sequel, and not even that. I'm excited for the animated series just to see how these turtles are gonna go in their daily lives in school and how far are they gonna go with the Shredder in the next one because you gotta find a way to actually step your game up now that you're bringing this guy into this world. And I gotta say, cowabunga, dudes. Number two on my list, I gotta say, every part one movie this year has been great. Some of them have been, weirdly enough, coincidentally, a part one just by the label of it. But no, this part one did a lot to actually boost it up and actually have an actual conclusion than leave off at a cliffhanger. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Tom Cruise is on a roll this year and last year, if we're being honest with movies. And finally, this Mission Impossible franchise is almost up to a close. The next movie is coming out, I guess, in 2025. I thought it was coming out next year. But I gotta say, with the action, new characters, actual stakes involved, we gotta say, the way this Mission Impossible franchise is gonna go out, hopefully we don't lose any of our favorites because we almost had that happen in this one. And I just hope for the finale of this franchise, we don't lose Ethan, we don't lose Benji. Come on. Don't kill him. Number one on my list, this is a bit controversial in the fact that I've never heard of this movie until the week it came out. Came around the 4th of July time, I guess. I don't even know if it came. I saw it around that time, but I don't even know if it released beforehand. But the way this movie was being buried, the way theaters were reacting to this, I gotta say, the world is scary enough. And I gotta say, Sound of Freedom is my number one. And I encourage you guys to go check this out because there's actual stuff in the world we don't talk about today. I know there's the Israel-Palestine war that's the main thing going on right now in the news. But I gotta say, child trafficking is a real thing. And it really hit close to home because, wow, I've seen stuff like this happen in real life. I've seen the news articles, even stuff like that online on TikTok that people aren't even noticing a lot. And they're actually saying, oh, we're just seeing it. That's a scary thing to think about. And this movie had me intense and feeling uneasy at parts. And this is a PG-13 movie and actually has a full-blown good message. I don't even know why this movie was buried for 5 years, but the way it came out, I gotta say, you kept me emotionally hooked and you had me going in the credits too because this was a hard watch. And no other film that wasn't a Marvel, DC, Star Wars thing actually had me feeling this type of way and actually learning something going outside of the theater. So I gotta say, Sound of Freedom, you have the honorary number one of 2023. And that's my list. This is the fun list of 2023. But now in my next video, I can't wait to tell you guys about the worst of 2023 list. I gotta say, there were a lot of stinkers this year. And hopefully, I have to start you guys off with the positivity right now before you actually get into some negativity with the next one. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have your own top 10 list, leave me in the comments down below. All my social media down in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.